Hey Wargamers, welcome back to the channel Death from Above Wargaming. I'm Aaron.
I'm Tom.
And we are back with another HyperPulse uplink. This time, we're here to talk about ALPHASTRIKE. Whoa. It's exciting.
The Scarlet Letter.
It's true. It's true. So we have been exclusively a classic BattleTech shop. You know, I have been asking questions in our comments section. Tom has been sort of trolling around Facebook, doing the same.
Yeah, a little bit.
And you know, we played again tonight.
This is our second full game of Alpha. At least me and you.
Yeah. I mean, we've been sort of play testing off and on for a while, but yeah, this is our second game this week, and it's so fast. And we really like it. So we're gonna let's talk about a few things tonight. So first, we're gonna talk about speed of play. We're going to talk about the size of the game, right? So just how the map feels and also how many units you can bring. We're going to talk about the fun factor. And then we're going to talk about some of the
most important part.
I agree with you. And then, you know, as long as I'm winning, I agree with you. Because I'm not having fun if I'm not winning. And then lastly, we're going to talk about our house and optional rules. So there's a lot of optional rules that we use that are right from the book. And there is just one house rule that we're using to date.
Just the first for this channel.
Right. I mean, the system is built pretty well. There's a variety of optional rules. So, guys, we are going to get that kicked off. We will be right back. All right, so speed of play.
Yeah.
What's your impression, Tom? First impressions.
Yeah. So the first game we played was a mixed arms. So we had, I think, each 4 mechs and 4 units. I think was that the mix.
You mean the other night when we did the 3-way rumble in the Bronx? That was actually, we had 8 mechs each, 4 units each. We had 36. We had a friend over from out of town. She wanted to try the game. Rick was supposed to come by. Damn it, Rick.
It's going to be 2v2.
We were going to 2v2, but I was like, you know what, let's try it. So we had 36 units on the board, 2 lances and 2 lances of mechs and some vehicle support. That was pretty.
And so that first game, I think we finished in 2.5 hours or so.
Yeah,
including like way too much around, of course, as we do. But it went. You know, we got through 4 or 5 turns.
I think it was like 5 or 6 even.
Maybe 5 or 6.
And that was a lot because each player was taking a turn. I think it was right. It was 5 turns. Yeah. You're right.
That was a lot. Yeah.
So it's like 15 times around. That's quite a bit. Yeah.
So we could even give it a multiplier.
And it was a new player.
1.5 per round. It was good. A little bit extra. And then this one was just a lance versus lance battle.
Right.
We got through 7 turns or 6.
I think it was out on 7 turns.
Well, because you started withdrawing. Right.
Don't spoil it. No, yeah, I got my butt kicked hard. And I said to Tom, the one time I get my butt kicked, thank goodness it wasn't on camera.
But guess what? I took pictures.
We'll be flashing the pictures up. Yeah, right.
It's good. So this one, the 4v4, it's pretty good. Hour and 22 minutes on the dot, I think.
Yeah.
Right. Or hour and
right, and we had like 3 or 4 rules lookups.
Yeah, and that was interesting. So we looked up a couple, and we'll probably talk about them at a deeper dive once we get more familiar.
But that's fast.
I mean, that's crazy fast.
I feel like we're really efficient with Classic, and we can't get through a game in less than 3 hours.
It's just not possible.
And that even without filming, with filming, it's probably another hour on top of that. But without filming, I mean, even still, I can't get through a 4-on-4 in less than 3 hours, unless
not to
you're playing really tiny
level,
mechs or something. Right.
That's the other thing, not to the destruction level that we got in this.
In this one over here.
Yeah.
This was a great one.
Even with the optional raw rules that we use, mechs still die.
They did, yeah.
More often than not.
I agree. So I mean, let's talk about the size of the game. So I'll tell you what we do. So as you know, ALPHASTRIKE, or maybe you don't know, is a 2-to-1 conversion. So
tell them.
If you move 1 hex, you move 2 inches, but I don't like it. I halved everything because that matches what we do in Classic, right? So I actually have, surprise, surprise, built a card generator where you can type in the stats and it prints out these amazing cards. with the 1-to-1 conversion on it,
Yeah,
as well as
extreme
and the
range.
extreme range, which is one of the optional rules that we
The
use.
piloting.
Yeah, and it has this really cool matrix where it shows you all the different piloting, the skill levels, and what it would cost, so you can just kind of reuse the card very easily. Anyway, so yes, the size of the game feels good when you're moving at like the ranges, the speeds that you're moving, right?
Yeah, that was going to be my question. So if we had done the typical scale, 2-to-1,
yeah.
does that make everything closer?
Well, I mean, so one of the mechs I fielded was an assassin, right? So in BattleTech, the assassin moves 7 and can run 11, and in ALPHASTRIKE, in a 2-to-1, he would walk 14 inches and sprint 22.
Right.
Which
on a
is
48 by 48 board.
Astronomical. It means he's basically crossing the entirety of the map in just 4 turns.
Yeah. And that's what I like about our system, is that it makes a 48 by 48 feel like some of those crazy big tables you see people playing.
Right.
And you
can still reach everything without like one of those things.
Well, especially with
shuffleboard,
where you're not paying for turns and stuff.
Right.
Like, the movement in the scale is really nice at the 1 inch.
Yeah, I mean, if you sprint 22 inches, right, and you don't have to worry about paying for turns, and all you have to do is worry about paying for like terrain, you can really position. I mean, again, it's this thing where everybody's at like point blank range, which is not too fun. But I do like the feel of the game physically. When you're moving, your battle master's moving 4 inches, you can sprint 6 inches. It still gives you that feel. And then again, the ranges, the way ALPHASTRIKE works, there's 3 range brackets. Traditionally, short, medium, long. There's optional rules for extreme range,
which makes
and we have all those as well to match the sort of 1-to-1. So it's basically 3 inches, 12 inches, 21 inches, 30 inches. So you can shoot 30 inches, which means there's an 18-inch buffer on the board where you can maneuver before mechs start engaging, which is typically 1 or 2 turns.
And only a few mechs can even shoot at extreme range,
Right.
which is nice.
Right.
So really, I think it gives it another layer of both tactical play, but also gives a differentiation between mechs.
Yeah.
So mechs that have the ability, what they need a 2 in long, they need a 2 damage in long range to be able to shoot 1 in extreme.
Right, because it's your long range -1.
Yeah.
So in the new Alphas, the Commander's Edition, that's how they do it.
Yeah, so it's very few mechs that can hit in extreme, so all of a sudden now they kind of shine a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then there's like, you can almost visualize like tiers of the mechs kind of moving up the field. It's fun.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah.
The other thing, speaking of size,
it stays.
Just how many units you can bring. I have a shelf full of mechs. They're awesome. They're painted.
They're ready to play.
And we only use in Classic, you're using 4 of them. Because again, I don't have all day Saturday. I'm out coaching soccer. Like I can't dedicate a Saturday to play BattleTech anymore.
Soccer is a big.
So
don't
great.
vote the video down, but vote soccer down for right
Soccer's thumbs up.
So I'm all dance class. I'm a dance dad.
Well, maybe one day you can do
modern jazz.
A routine for us, Death from Above, interpretive dance.
So bad.
So where were we? We were talking about
robot.
Putting my awesome minis on the table.
Yeah.
So you can field more, right?
Yeah.
And you can field your vehicles very easily, and you can field infantry very, very easily, and you can field VTOLs and aerospace fire. I mean, aerospace really don't even play in Total Warfare.
Right.
ALPHASTRIKE, you can put them right on the map. They strafe across the board. It's really cool. It's super cool.
Awesome.
I love the fact that I can take anything I want off the shelf and play it.
Yeah.
And I will say one other thing. Mechs that suck in Classic are usable in this game. I think that the point value system is way better than the battle value system.
Agreed.
It is.
Looked at that. Yeah.
I have a spoiler alert, a mech review coming out either before or after this. I'm not sure.
Are we gonna have to redo all the mech reviews for Alpha?
No, well, geez, ALPHASTRIKE BattLytics. I don't know. It could happen. There's really not a whole lot. We'll see. I'll find something.
Yeah. The efficiency scores are ruined.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. The battle value gets really wonky.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I think point value is very balanced. We played a match tonight where I think we were identically on the nose for point value, and it was a very, very close match. We almost went mech for mech, mech for mech, mech for mech.
And tonight, we got through in an hour and 22 minutes with all medium and heavies.
Yeah, they were big mechs.
Yeah. There's no little
Right. Or with like the commando where you can one-shot them or anything like that. I mean, they were all. I mean, the assassin was probably the lightest, but even that
survived.
He survived, right? Because he has that insane modifier. Yeah. Well, let's talk about some other things. So we talked a little bit about combined arms. The other thing about time is like we were talking after the game, after we had the timer 122, right? Hour 22 minutes. I was like, if we get quick at this, we could like film a whole campaign in like one night. We get through like a whole campaign, 4 hours. You play 4 games, right? I mean, now with more units, it might take a little bit more time and so on and so forth. But you can play so much more BattleTech, which is cool.
If you have a bad game, you get some bad rolls. You're into a new game, and it's it hurts a lot less. Yeah, and I will tell you, like, we've played a couple 12v12s, and I don't think I would play more than that. I know some dudes out there love like playing like, I want to feel my whole battalion, and that's cool. That's that Saturday afternoon thing. But I mean, if we want to play a company, 2 lances, some vehicles, or whatever, something along those lines, you can still get it in an hour and a half. Just the shooting is so fast, damage resolution is so fast, crit resolution, everything, also fast. So the way ALPHASTRIKE works traditionally is, let's say I have a Marauder and he shoots, 3, his damage vet profile is 3 at short range, 3 at medium range and 1 at long range, hypothetically. And then thus nothing at extreme range, right? So if I'm shooting Thom's mech at medium range, I roll 2d6, right? I calculate my target number, I roll 2d6. If I meet or beat the target number, he takes 3 damage, we're done. That's cool, except for you tend to really rip through mechs quickly. Things die very fast, especially when you get to closer ranges. You only need 4s and 5s to hit. So we wanted to sort of figure out a way to equally and evenly extend the lifespan of everything. So there are a couple different optional rules for that, and we tried them both. There's one for variable, or basically you roll to hit multiple times. So if I have 3 points of damage, I roll 3 times to hit. This is much like Classic, where you're firing, 3 weapons. Big thumbs down.
Yeah, we didn't like it. And then we tried it with our group fire rule, where we're like, well, we'll have 1 pilot die and 3, boom. And it was like, I didn't like it. It was okay.
Caesar is not pleased.
Are you not entertained? So then I tried the variable damage rule. Yeah. So the variable damage rule states that you roll once to hit, and then for each point of damage, you roll a d6. If you get a 3 or better, it counts as a point of damage. It's very much like our cluster house rule in Classic. So basically what we do is we roll all the dice together. So my Marauder that does 3 points at medium, I take 2d6. They're my yellow dice, right, that we use for the piling dice. 2d6, I drop 3 little red dice in there, and I roll it all together. If I hit, I look at the red dice and see each 3+ that hit.
And that's it.
And that's it. And you deal damage. So
2 thumbs up.
Basically, the mechs statistically are, if they hit, doing 66% of their listed damage on average. Yeah. Which is not bad.
And it came into play, I will say.
It did. Well, I mean, the mechs just didn't disintegrate the same way that they did when we played the other night.
Yeah, the other night, it's very noticeable. And it's not necessarily, it's not a fun aspect of Alpha where it's like,
and you're like internal, like instantly.
Yeah, it's a little, you like to hit more often, but killing mechs every turn is a little like hollow to me.
And you can still focus fire things down very quickly, right?
Yeah. I did. I'm kidding. Yeah, you actually.
No, you. Well, we went blow for blow. No, we killed 2 times. We each killed a mech on the same turn. I mean, I missed. Well, we both had that turn. Anyway.
Again, it doesn't matter as much when it's Alpha.
It doesn't matter as much. Yeah. So we use that variable damage rule. That's the first thing we use. We talked about extreme range. That's also an optional rule. There's another thing called horizon range, which is like you can shoot forever, but like whatever. I don't like that. I think, like if you're artillery or whatever, you can shoot the horizon range. Otherwise,
do lasers not suffer from gravitational drop?
I mean, it's light. I don't know. Guess not.
Is anybody an astrophysicist that can explain whether or not light bends from gravity? It does.
Well, it depends.
It totally does. It's black holes and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so it depends. You have to look up on the table the size of the planet, and that will determine the space-time,
how close is the nearest black hole.
Right. Yeah. Right. So you have to basically randomize the entire local galactic cluster. Yeah.
The light goes. It's like where did it go? It's like,
oh, Tom, we are so on a tangent. So anyway, back to this. So we have the variable damage, extreme range. Yeah. And then we use
the targeting.
The targeting mods. So, I wanted to obviously employ our DFA house mod 0, 1, 2, 3 for short medium, and I was like, man, I really want to play raw. So we played 1 game of raw. It was awful. Like trying to hit anything extreme range with a +6 mod is you just can't. Like you just don't do it unless you stood still and they're barely moving. It's just most of the time mathematically impossible.
It's like a Hail Mary throw.
It's a Hail Mary, and that's like
not tactical.
You play tactics. We play tactics, right? And you play Mech Warrior and all these other games. Like you can definitely peg somebody at 1,000 meters or 1,200 meters if you're, and it's not like a Hail Mary, right? So there are rules, optional rules for variable range targeting and all these other things. And there's all the, you can calibrate your mechs for, short range, medium range, long range targeting, right? And all these different things. So we just agreed, like, well, what if we just use the long range targeting and apply it to everything, right? So those optional rules state that shorts +1, mediums +2, long 3, extreme 4. It's in the book. It's very easy. It also sort of, and I ran some numbers on it, maybe I'll flash up a chart or a graph, but basically what it also does is it, in like the base rules, short range is like, it's stupid easy to hit.
Yeah.
Right? You're basically guaranteed to hit all the time. So this, with that +1 on short, sort of makes it a little bit harder. Not impossible. You're still looking at 4s and 5s most of the time, but you're not looking at like, oh, I got it, 2, I'm auto hitting. So, because when you're in short range, if you stand still, like you're basically guaranteed to hit.
With a -1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing it does is shifts everything. So like you still want to get into short range with some mechs, but it doesn't, you're not like, me. Yeah, staying in medium isn't as big of a
and you can play the game at long range, right? You can keep your fire support mechs in the back and have them be effective.
Yeah, like we did with our larges, and when we took mechs that had the overheat long.
Yeah, well, you did. I thought I had one.
That's true. And so like after I would overheat and build up heat, I would just kind of like walk back.
Yeah, he was using a Mauler. Was beastly.
He was
beast.
I like him. Yeah.
So anyway, house rule.
Yeah.
The one and only. So then that we were playing, we were sprinting. It was very lackluster.
Yeah. I don't get it.
So you sprint, and the only thing that happens is you can't shoot. You can move a little bit further, but you can't shoot.
And you get no benefit to doing it.
There's no benefit. You don't get an increase in TMM. At least, tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe I am. I looked in the rule book. I don't. In fact, I think it explicitly says you do not get an increase to TMM. So it's cool because you can move a little bit further, but like I can't shoot. That's a huge trade-off.
For almost no gain.
Not a lot, especially with the really slow mechs. You're picking up like an extra 2 inches, and it's like what?
Yeah, there's no way to. There's no point to doing it, and I said before we started filming this, in my opinion, it basically is like just starting the game a little closer. You basically sprint to get into firing range, and then
you don't sprint ever again.
Yeah, I mean
that's how we were. That's how all the prior games went, at least for me.
And it's like so, we can if we want to loot, we just start the game closer.
Right,
done,
and we're done.
Yeah.
So what do we do? Well, we had 2 things we argued. One was, well, maybe we can sprint and shoot and take a penalty. Kind of like equivalent to the classic BattleTech run. And then we're like, that's probably really imbalanced. And
it seemed way too strong.
So we opted to just bump the TMM up by 1.
Yeah. So you sprint, you still can't fire, but you get a
right.
It's so sort of like
a defensive, like you're just going full defensive. You're putting the pedal down and you're focused exclusively on ducking, weaving, dodging.
Yeah.
Dodging incoming fire, right?
Duck, dive, dodge, and dip, and dodge. Duck, dive, dip, and dodge.
Is that from Dodgeball?
Dodgeball, yeah.
Yes.
Come on.
I got it.
Dodge a wrench.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. You can dodge a Gauss slug, you can dodge a ball. So, Patches O'Houlihan, God rest his soul. So,
love that movie. Okay.
It was so great. So, anyway.
But yeah, the TMM. So, and so in this game, I mean, we effectively used the strategic benefit of the TMM buff. You were able to withdraw. I tried my hardest to kill his mechs
well, that's how the assassin stayed alive.
Yeah,
and even so I was able to get him up to a 4, right? Which you can do in Classic when he runs, right?
Yeah.
So it's very equivalent there.
So it's nice, but but you couldn't shoot back, so you were absolutely withdrawing.
I couldn't shoot back anyway because you'd hit all my freaking weapon criticals, and I'm pretty sure I would have damaged myself if I shot.
No, I'm kidding. It was a balanced game. I eked out a victory.
It was good. You had 2 fresh mechs, and I was running like a very scared person.
Like a gimpy marauder.
Oh, my poor gimpy marauder. Poor guy.
Running away.
So good, though.
Yeah.
So powerful.
The old sculpt's good. I can't wait to get
the new maps. God, we're so close.
Catalyst, if you watch this, send them
early.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It'd be great.
So I don't know.
What else did we go through? Did we talk about? What else do we got? The fun of it, the speed of it. We went through everything.
We went through everything.
Yeah, I mean, the record keeping. We didn't really talk about the record keeping.
That's a great point. God, so easy.
Yeah, I mean you talked about printing up the little cards. I did. But like just like calculating damage and looking for criticals, that's something we really didn't go into. But like taking and giving criticals is less painful and more fun. Tracking damage, calculating and all of that. It's just everything is a lot smoother. Yeah. And it lets you focus on the gameplay. I agree. So again, while Classic has a special place and is a different kind of fun, this is also fun. Yeah, you know, I've read, you know, anecdotally, you know, online, like they call. Oh. No, I was gonna say like, well, Alpha does get some hate, and you know, I tried it and I stepped away from it and I came back to it. And I just like it's like that, you know, that girl you're not supposed to date, but you really want to date. Puppies. Some people hate puppies. I don't understand that either. I think my analogy is better. I will tell you guys, I love Classic. I grew up playing Classic, but this is awesome. When did Alpha come out? Like the 90s? No, I think early 2000s. Oh wow, maybe even later than that. Maybe even late 2000s. Well, I'd have to look. But you know, BattleTech is like a simulationist style game, right? I mean, if you want to know, you know, what actuators hit and you know, well, this weapon has a -2, and you know, it takes time. It takes a lot of energy to like play the game right and well. And there are so many rules you almost never use. Yeah. You know, because the scenarios, there's like rules for everything, and that's very easy to make mistakes. But I will tell you, I was sitting in bed one night reading the rules in Total Warfare on how to play infantry, and I was like, I can't do this. You know, because a lot of you guys are like, yo, we want combined arms, and I agree with you, I do too. But like, holy crap! Like, read the. It's like, well, are they in a clear hex? Yes. Right. Okay, well then double the damage, but only if. Yeah. You know, it's Wednesday and it's raining. Because if it's raining, then But using a large laser, then it's just 1 damage. How many suns does this planet have? It's like insanity. Like so, basically, in all seriousness, like the weapon type. You know, the clusters. Like, and you don't roll on cluster tables for missiles anymore. You just max the damage, but then you divide it by 4, and it's like there's just so much crap to remember. You're guaranteed to get something wrong at some point. Yeah, and there's logic there somewhere. I'm sure we're not giving you crap, whoever wrote the rules, if you're also watching. No, I mean, again, it's just a simulationist style game, and if you're into that, which it's cool when you're doing a 4-on-4 mech game, but if we want to get into bigger games, which you need to when you're talking about clans, right? Well, and even campaigns. Like, to be honest, like there's another layer, another like flavor of campaign scenarios. Yeah, right. You know, mission types that just. Like, it screams out they beg for infantry and you know, like your Kestrel VTOL flying in and dropping your squad on top of the building objective, and you know, because if you're talking about simulation, like when you read the books on this and you read the canon literature and all like that, the novels, you mean? No, you read some novels. You know, mechs are rare. They're very expensive. Right. You know, most of this time. In a campaign situation, like there's a lot of combined arms fighting it out before mechs ever come on the board. It's true, yeah. So that kind of sets it. So in my head, anyway, in my brain of brains, the vision is that you know you set the stage for the mech invasion. You know, you go and soften stuff up, try to find an opening, and then you can deploy your mechs. So it can start to really evolve like a narrative. Yeah. You know, in the missions. I read. I was reading. I don't want to spoil anything. I was reading a book. I was reading the Rogue Academy. I was reading a book. It's shocking. That was the Rogue Academy series, book 1. I can't remember what it's called, but it was really good. And one of the one of the big battles is totally combined arms. Yeah. You know, like it's so cool that everything's on a baseball card, and it's just all the same. There are some differences between like vehicles they take the motive hits when they take damage. Yeah, I didn't want to get in. I did not want to get into that tonight. Let's not ruin this by. He was so mad. On the one game, he had a couple of manticores, and they just kept getting motive hit, and it was just like stuck there. I was like, "Bro, don't be upset. It has a turret." And he's like, "You can't see anything. You're stuck in this like little divot like behind." And it takes 4 turns to get up the hill. I don't. Yeah, we'll get into that another day. Woo! But it is cool. Yeah, but. So one of the criticisms, not to make this a whole I'm trying not to get too deep into stuff, but like a lot of the criticisms of Alpha is that it's like it's too simplistic and it's not like doesn't have the flavor of BattleTech. But when you start, like, Aaron really dug into the rules and started reading about it and started to see the layers in it, I think.
Yeah.
And it's true, you know, from battalion, is that what it's called? Like the battalion rules and like the optional...
Oh, the formation rules.
Formation rules,
yes.
Which we're not doing yet, but they're there. You know, all of the optional rules, you said there's a lot more of them, or they're...
Right, so there's basically... so you have formations, so and formations can grant your pilot's abilities, and then you can take like your whole force can have like a flavor to it, like they're urban guerrillas, or like they're really good at this, or they, you know, you can outflank, like you can go off the board and come back. It's all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, and the unique abilities of the different mechs, I think, are better implemented than the quirks and features.
Oh, right, yes.
Classic BattleTech.
Sure, like the
the
special ammunition is actually really good in this game. Like armor-piercing rounds and stuff, like it's surprisingly balanced, and you know, you read it all, and it's like the way, and also like C3 computers, or like you don't need like, you know, an actuarial degree to like figure out how they work in this. Like everything's like very simplified.
Yeah. But it's still, they're still there in the layers.
It's still there.
That's where I'm trying to go with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the movement, everything's kind of simplified a little bit, but not in a dumb way.
Right.
It doesn't make it dumber.
It doesn't dumb it down. It's just different, you know, and it's you'll hit more, you know, I think it's, you were saying at one point, like it's more satisfying, right?
Yeah, well, because the speed of play is there. So like you're turning over, you're hitting quicker, you're calculating the damage faster, so you're getting back into the gameplay. So like from an on the table perspective, like you stay in it a lot more.
Yeah.
You're not having to step back and like think about things and get out of the headspace.
Yeah.
So you really you know,
right.
If you play with some thematic music in the background.
Oh, yeah, like MechWarrior 2.
Yeah, you know, you're in it, man.
Yeah,
you're in the simulation.
You're there. You know, one final thought. So we talked about the simulationist of classic BattleTech. You know, what they call ALPHASTRIKE is like, well, this is like a traditional like war game, and people are like, well, it's just like 40K, right? I will tell you.
How dare you?
I played 40K. I mean, I have a Reaver Titan on the shelf. I mean, I love 40K, and I stepped away from it and got back into BattleTech. That's a story for another video.
It broke his heart.
40K broke my heart. But I will tell you, ALPHASTRIKE is
Games Workshop.
Games Workshop, you cut me deep. They're nothing alike.
Yeah.
They're nothing alike. They're totally different. I mean, I remember playing like Dan, his Imperial Guard army, and like he'd roll like 40 dice, and I'd pick up like 65 models off the table and like put them in a bag.
Yeah.
This is not like that. It's still got the same speed of play, but you don't have that like catastrophic loss. Like mechs can sustain damage, vehicles can sustain damage, unless you run like all Savannah Masters. Like, I mean, stuff can take damage.
Savannah Masters. They're so weak.
They're so fast.
Yeah, so fast.
But you know, like things can sustain damage. There's tactical movement. Like things move fast enough. Like in Warhammer, like it's this sort of like this death march. You do have obviously the faster armies where they can, you know, they got the jet bikes and stuff.
Yeah.
But realistically, like you know, you watch these games and there's a lot of tactics to the game. No disrespect to it.
Big love.
But it's a very different feel. Like having played both, I will tell you, it's a very different feel when you have, you know, 8 to 12 units on the board versus like 50, or 100, right? Depending on what army you're playing, like orcs,
Gene Stealers.
God, yes.
Or demons, yeah. But
right, well, you would just keep summon. You would have a spare army because you would just summon more dudes onto the board.
Oh, you can't kill me.
That's awful.
One thing I am kind of interested to try out is elementals in the clan stuff.
Battle suits, yeah.
I just have this picture of these like little ankle biters like climbing up the mechs and just like kind of punching holes and like.
Yeah.
Do you know that Simpsons episode where the imp is out on the wing of the plane and like he's looking out, like, watching him like rip stuff off? That's I think Treehouse of Horrors 1 actually. So that's what I imagine. Like you're looking out of your pilot, you know, the glass, and you're like, what the hell? And you just see like
it's like parts flying.
It's so good. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I will tell you the anti-mech attacks are very easy. Yeah. I mean, it's easily implemented. You're at short range, you make an attack, there's a chance for a critical. Like, it's simple, right? And that's the actuator flying, right? I mean, it may not even do a lot of damage, but, you know, that's the threat of it, right? And infantry can do it, and elementals can do it, so it's pretty cool. I assume they can do it. I'm pretty sure they can. I looked at their stack card, it was a few days ago.
I think that's all they're made for, right? They, like, go up and, like, glom all over a mech.
Yep, yeah. Yeah, so it's cool, and, you know, it'll be good use for all those new elementals that we have coming in our, you know...
I'm gonna equip my mech with one of those like early '90s car alarms, where like when you like tap the car, it's like back away from the car. Like, You're too close to the neck.
I remember those. Yeah,
that's great.
You're too close to the neck. Oh, well, listen, guys. If you haven't tried it, try it. Give it another shot. I'm telling you, you're going to like it. We are going to be doing it here at Death from Above Wargaming. We're going to be putting out some battle reports on it. We're not stopping with Classic. We still have some great stuff.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop, but I think it has its place, and I think ALPHASTRIKE has its place too. So we're going to go on probably a little bit of an ALPHASTRIKE bender, do a couple of games here and there. I got to look at the campaign rules. One of the guys was asking me, how's that fit in? I think we played one mission the other night. It worked out just fine. Yeah. So I think a lot of it's going to...
Oh, that was a mission time.
Yeah, it was. We played Intercept. It was cool, Yeah,
and I think too, and Alpha lends itself more to maybe traveling play. Like if we were talking about trying to do some actual on-site nights or going to some events to run games, this is a much easier way to get.
Brand new players into it, and also just
within the scale of a one-day thing.
Yep. So yeah, right. You go to your local game store, you get in probably 2 games in a night.
Yeah.
So
2-hour brackets. People can have time to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you have kids. If you have kids, just keep checking the boxes.
I play with my oldest.
That's true.
Rick's kid and my kid. We had an ALPHASTRIKE party night.
I have to paint one of them mix up like She-Ra, and then my daughter might play too.
We're done.
We're done.
Guys, don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click the little bell thing.
Is it right here? Or is it?
I think it's up here, isn't it? I'm not sure.
I think it's a big thing.
Anyway, click it wherever it is on your screen.
Like a monkey, press the button.
2 things. At DFA Wargaming, that's our Instagram. And DFAWargaming.com, BattleTechs.com. Check them all out. Great resources for you guys.
Catch me on Facebook. I think we're going to be starting a Facebook account to
post.
That's to cross-post videos if people don't like YouTube.
Yeah, we'll get it all. We'll get it all wired up. So lots of great stuff coming, guys. As always, from Death from Above Wargaming. Have a great night.
See you guys.